with Bags and Lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Today we're going to be talking about my side hustle experience, and I'm at the beginning of this, so we're cataloging it close to real time. Close to real time, and going to follow this process. I plan on doing updates. So let me go ahead and get into it. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about my experience and what I've learned so far with producing 2 low content books on Amazon through Amazon KDP, and also my Book Bolt membership. So first off, shout out to Journey with the Hintons. I will leave both videos that I watched to help get my process started down below. And then there's another video that was kind of like the opposite of it. Like, realistically, how much money can you make from this, from a lady's perspective of doing this and having several books. So her video was helpful too, because I feel like you see a lot of these side hustle videos, obviously to draw you in, they're going to throw up a large number of the ideal spot you can get to, but that may not be what you experience. And so I wanted to just catalog it, talk about the experience that I've had so far. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I have produced 2 Amazon KDP books so far. The first one I produced in January, which is this one. The title of mine is I Like My Cash Where I Can See It. Any Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City fans out there, I kind of, took that with it. And then on the back it just says live a little bit. It has a little scan code. So Amazon prints these completely. I'm not going to go through the full process because Journey with the Hintons did a great job. So watch those 2 videos that I have in the description box. They're going to help you if you're interested in this. I wanted to try to do something to, one of my goals was to add more more streams of income. more streams of income, things that I don't have to work hard at. I can do the work up front, set it and forget it, and it brings in revenue on a regular basis. So one of those was for me to dabble into producing low content books to see if that is something that works for me. So I started that journey. So with this book, this is a kind of expense savings tracker, debt log, that type of book. So of course I got to self-promote myself here. But on the first page we have the debt tracker. So there are a few pages of that, so that way you can record your debt. And then the next pages here is the monthly planner. So every month you get a calendar in the front, so that way it's helpful for if you have children's sports activities you got to pay for. Those aren't due every month. Maybe they're due every 3 months. Things fluctuate with expenses. You can catalog that out, and it has a spot for notes. In addition to that, you have a savings tracker on the other side next to your several pages of expenses that you want to write down. Sometimes it's easier to write things down rather than keep it in a spreadsheet or on a computer, or maybe do both. So that way you can see where the outliers are, see where things are missing. So that is the intent of this, and that way you can take it on the go with you. Now, on the go with you. So that is what my book looks like, and it is under $7, so it's very inexpensive. So my process with the Amazon KDP book, this printed, like I said, it went live in January of this year. So definitely, if you're interested, please go ahead and check it out. I will leave a link to it down below. The second book that I made was for a blood sugar tracker. So people who have low or high blood sugar, they have diabetes, type 1, type 2, any type of thing like that. You're in a nursing home, or you're not a nursing home necessarily, but a parent or elderly family member that has a caretaker that comes over, and that will help them take a log of their blood sugar. Anything like that, it's definitely very helpful for any of those needs. So that's what that book is for. Now, the things that I have learned from producing an Amazon KDP book. Actually, before I get into that, let me just tell you the overall time and financial investment I've had to make thus far with making the first book. So I would say overall, from A to Z, so that is from conception to research all the way to production, was about 8 hours. So that's not so bad. And then for the membership, I did do a Book Bolt membership. Luckily, Journey with the Hintons had a 20% discount going on, so I pay $8 a month for my Book Bolt membership. So not a lot of time investment and not a lot of financial investment to get this book out and printed. So far to date, when I checked my sales, this book had sold between 20 and 30 copies in January. So not so bad for my first month being published. So some things that I learned that could hopefully help quicken your process of getting published is what I'm going to go through today. So first off, I'm going to say, make sure you do your research. Watch those videos that are going to be in the description box, because she goes into a lot of detail on how you need to do your research, how you need to pick your topic. But that's where most of your time needs to be spent, because you don't want to pick and first off, what you don't want to do is type in a subject on Amazon and you see that it has 50,000 searches. That means it is way too saturated. 50,000 searches is great, but not great for you, because you're just getting into it. So it's like taking your penny and throwing it into a wishing well where there's 50,000 other pennies. No one's going to see yours because your penny's at the last of the line. It's at the back of the line. So think about it in that way. You want something that is searched enough to bring you enough potential customers every month. However, is not so saturated that you're on page 4,458 versus being on page 7 or page 3. You know, like, so that's what you're trying to think of and figure out your research. So spend the most time doing that. Now, you're not going to always get it right. Like, I've only produced 2 books, so we'll have to see how it goes, and I'm just going to have to hone my skills and tweak it a little bit as I go, but I'm excited. And anyway, so let me finish talking about the things that I have learned. So through BookBolt, first, make sure you're adding your page numbers. So you will see page numbers in BookBolt, but those are kind of like the default templated version in BookBolt. They are not the actual page numbers that are printed on the book. So make sure you're adding the page number template when you do these low content books. The next thing is going to be adding the look inside. So the look inside feature, you can do a search of this. A lot of people have produced videos on it, because let me just back up for a second. I think this has been going on, low content books has been going on for at least the last 2 years. And so it's become very saturated. I will say that. And so I'm just going to try it, see if it works. But at the same time, I wanted to make a strategic move into a market that may already be saturated. So just keep that in mind. And now that so many books are out there, which is a segue into the look inside feature, those low content books no longer have the look inside feature, but there's a way around that, and there's a lot of videos on it, and actually Journey with the Hintons talks about it. But one thing that I learned myself, which I want to tell you about if you're interested in it, is you need pretty much when your book is published, it will create an AISN number for you for the low content book. So what you do is, as soon as you hit the publish button for your book and it's going through its process of quality control and making sure it gets approved, go ahead and make your A+ content and save it as a template. As soon as your book publishes, then an AISN will be created for that book. Take that AISN number and attach it to your template and then hit publish, so that way it is then linked with the link inside feature. So that's how you get around that. And it took me a while to figure out, like an hour and a half to figure out this AISN thing. I was like all over the place. Anyway, so there you go. I saved you some time. Next up is going to be spacing all of the template on the pages to make sure your book is without errors. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Make sure you're looking at those lines. Make sure you're checking out the quality control feature before you publish, where it checks for the errors, because if you have errors there, you will 100% have errors when Amazon does their quality check, which means it delays the publishing of your book. So try to fix what you can ahead of time is what I'm getting at. So next up is going to be the time it takes for the look inside. So going back up to that next point I said, the first point about second point I said about the A+ content. Now, your book publishes on Amazon and it will tell you the instructions in there. So it takes about, I think, 3 days for it to be technically searchable on Amazon after it is produced or published is what I should say. After that, if there's other platforms, it takes another 5 days, up to 5 days for other platforms. Now, the A+ content is not linked to your book until 9 to 10 days after you've linked it. So just keep that in mind, that there's a longer process. So that way, if you're trying to get your book published in time for a holiday, for example, you need to be starting this process months ahead. So one, you get through all these quality control checking features. And the entire package of your book is ready, so you can see the book. It's searchable. The A+ content, where you have the look inside, workaround feature, is linked to it, and it's coming up in the searches way ahead of the holiday. So just keep that in mind if you're doing something related to a period of time that you're going to have a lot of volume or a lot of searches. Yes. That's everything I want to talk about. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm not going to go into like details about all the nitty gritty, because Journey with the Hintons does that. So definitely check out her video so you can find out a little more information about how to set it up, how Amazon pays out, things like that. And I plan to do updates along the way and make a few other books. I don't know what my magic number is going to be, but I do plan to do some more books, and I give you an update on how it's going for me. So if you're looking for side hustle ideas, a way to make extra money, this might be something you may want to try out. I'm trying it out. It's not a lot of financial investment, and I mean, it was only a work day and 2 hours. A work day and 2 hours of my time, and you can easily spend that doing something else. And I didn't do it all in one day. I did it over probably like a good 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind, and thumbs up this video. It will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.